got you niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me. And Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo. Yeah. Nigga. Huh. Medium popcorn in your ears. That's right, I'm Eddie Collins.
Justin Brown now.
Yeah, and we're gonna spoil Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. It's on
The
Netflix.
name of my son.
It's been in development hell for 20 years.
Oh, he has.
But it's on Netflix now with Eddie Murphy back and Kevin Bacon's in it as well.
What up, Kevin?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Taylor Page joins Paul Reiser and others for the originals.
That's right.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Now, folks, in case you're not aware, my name is Eddie Collins.
Sorry, I was doing the funky chicken over here. I'm Justin Brown.
Yep, I know I said Brandon Collins, but I meant to say Eddie Collins. You know that Brandon don't do the show no more.
Are we doing video?
No video.
I'm not doing video.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess my reveal's not gonna mean shit.
You have a reveal?
Yes.
Why do you have a reveal? What are you revealing?
Huh?
What are you revealing?
So basically, based off of if this movie was gonna be complete and utter trash, I had a reveal for the show, for the podcast.
Okay, what was that going to be? Was Justin pull? Oh shit! Wait, what? Okay, so folks, you can't see this, but Justin has Axel Foley Detroit Lions jacket.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm wearing right now on this show.
So you were going to wear that either way, if it was good or bad?
No, if it was bad, we were gonna set it on fire.
Oh no, don't do that. That's a cool jacket. I actually, because I was watching, Tati and I've been watching all three in preparation for this review and stuff like that. I also had never seen the third one, and I was like, looking at that jacket, I'm like, that's a cool ass jacket. And I'm from Michigan. I should have a jacket like that.
What are you doing, bro?
I mean, but the Lions, they suck. I mean, they're okay now.
No.
They're okay now.
No.
Growing up,
the organization
they broke.
is terrible.
Growing up, they broke my heart so many times, bro. They broke my
what
heart.
they did to Barry Sanders is.
But no, they're just like, losing all the time on Thanksgiving Day. Yeah. And my family, they're fucking. They had some gambling issues.
Diehards?
No, they just had some gambling issues, or like not even gambling issues. It's they live in fantasy world sometimes. So what they would do is they would be like, oh,
It's the Lions here.
well, no, it's like I bet on the game, so if we win, we're gonna talk about new life, new house, everything. And I'd be like, oh boy, really? And then we lose. The Lions would lose and be like, you see the family members like, oh god,
I put everything on this. Everything.
Just like overnight, people's lives change and shit. Not for the better. Fair. Niggas are selling furniture and selling plasma, not the TV, blood. All right, so we're talking about Beverly Hills Cop 4.
So Brandon, you never even asked me why do I have this jacket?
Well, I meant it's like one of your favorite movie franchises, right? Or at least the first one is one of your favorite movies.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies.
I mean, Eddie Murphy in like the 80s, it's incredible how many of his films still hold up.
Yeah, it's actually nuts.
Yeah, like Coming to America, this.
Golden Child.
Well, I haven't seen Golden Child.
But the Golden Child, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's still a fun watch.
Okay, Boomerang is still really solid too.
Yeah, fucking 48 Hours, I
actually never, was it 48 Hours? And what was the one he did with Dan Aykroyd?
Oh my God. I was about to change up.
Because 48 Hours with Nick Nolte.
Trading Places.
Trading Places, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. We should do
actually
Eddie Murphy month.
Yeah, we should.
We should do Eddie Murphy month. Because he's so versatile. And obviously, folks, this is the fourth entry in the Beverly Hills Cop series. The last one was like in 1993 or some shit. 94. Mm-hmm. Ironically, we have not reviewed any of the previous movies before.
I know,
but
crazy.
That's okay. I mean, we should maybe revisit the first one. The second one's fine. The third one, like I was telling you before we watched this one, god awful. It's so bad, dude. It's like
it tries to make Axel Foley like some kind of like superhero. It tries to make him like a full action star, which doesn't quite work. And then totally, it's just all over the fucking place. And it's centered around a fucking like theme park.
Wonder World.
Yeah, that's supposed to be kind of Disney-esque because there's Uncle Dave that's supposed to, I guess, be Walt Disney because everybody knows who the fuck Uncle Dave is. When he gets shot, everyone's like, Axel, this black nigga shot Uncle Dave. It was like crazy.
He's more like Dave Thompson, the nigga from Wendy's.
Oh, he did look like Dave Thompson.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, what happened? Did he have a heart attack?
I mean, he died.
How did Dave from Wendy's die? If it's anything revolving like obesity or heart issues.
I mean, he was an old-ass dude when we were kids. Of course he had to go.
Yeah. I always had like a vision of like these dudes, like these people like who did that stuff, like commercials and stuff. I was like, he's not the one making the hamburgers though, right? Like
when he started it.
Obviously when he started, but like I mean at that time, like in the 90s when I watched the commercial, I'm like, is he going away from the camera to go like grill now? Like you know what I mean? I didn't understand how businesses worked.
So I think the thing that really was interesting was Colonel Sanders. Because I want to eat chicken from a nigga that dressed like that. A dude looking like that, I ain't eating his chicken.
Well, I mean, like he looked crazy, but that's how all the slavers dressed back in the day. It's true. Not a great outfit when you look at history.
Yeah.
Mind you, really funny random aside. My great grandmother at my nana's wake, and I'm just bringing it up because it's like fresh in my memory because I talked about it in therapy, blah blah blah. But I remember my great grandmother came in an all white suit with like a cane, and I was like, Grandma, I don't know if you look like Colonel Sanders or John Hammond from Jurassic Park, but either way, it's not appropriate for this event. It's so fucking weird. Like it was so distracting. I was like, Grandma, what are you doing? I mean, at this point, she was like. She had lost 2 kids and she was already crazy. So,
are you a lost member of New Edition,
or their manager with that fucking cane? Anyways,
or are you R. Kelly from Half on the Baby video? So
why did you get this jacket?
Because when Axel turned 1, I had a Beverly Hills Cop themed birthday party for him. You remember these the posters? Yes. So all the posters, I got a backdrop and everything like that.
We should put one of them up for the cover art for this episode.
Oh yeah.
Send them to me.
They're gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
So let's say so we got I made a backdrop, had a Beverly Hills Cop theme, and like I had like a mystery or whatever that the kids at the party all had to solve. And I had these gold bricks, these fake gold bricks that I hid all over the lawn, stuff like that. So they had to go out there and solve it.
Because that's a big part of the second one, right?
Yeah,
the gold bricks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
And then we played the banana in the tailpipe game, where I basically used toilet paper rolls, and like I basically like glued them all together to like this big fucking like ball of toilet paper things. And then, like, I had the kids come up in one by one, and they were timed to see how many bananas they could shove in the tailpipe. And it was so stupid. And I talked like Eddie Murphy for half of the party from the film.
Well, yeah, Eddie Murphy, when you look at the Beverly Hills Cop movies, it's just a gift of gab. He's just ranting. Just distracting you with, like, craziness.
Yeah.
And manic energy.
He is literally nothing but, like, he's a straight-up con man.
Yes.
Who just happens to be a cop.
Exactly. But I mean, even then, they're kind of interchangeable at times.
Very true. In most worlds, Axel Foley is a dirty cop.
Oh,
a very dirty cop.
Yeah, it's very easy to see Axel Foley going fully over to the bad side.
Oh, yeah.
Of things. I mean, there was a period in this movie where we were like, oh, shit, did Taggart go full bad?
Yeah.
Because we're like, at this point, like, and folks, we're going to be mindful of not spoiling this because this is going to come out right the day of release on Netflix and stuff like that on July 3rd. But the whole gang is back. It's not like Beverly Hills 3 where they only brought back, Judge Reinhold as Billy, Rosewood. And that was basically it. Terrible. Well, he doesn't look great. But it's still Billy, though. Yeah. That's the thing I enjoy. I did enjoy seeing Billy and Taggart together again. Yeah. Because we missed that from the third one. Paul Reiser's back in this one as Jeffrey Friedman, who hadn't popped up since the second one.
Yeah.
So that was good to see. But, like, I think if you're a fan of this series, this is like a relatively return to form in a way. You know, it's a lot better than the third one for sure. Oh yeah. And I will say I enjoyed the story more than the second one. Okay. So this is pretty solid. Like the first one's like incredible. It's so fucking funny and just really weird and like, you know, that's Eddie Murphy, prime Eddie Murphy. Like,
and this is 1984 where and like Eddie Murphy going to, you know, Beverly Hills, California. You're like, okay, yeah, like all of these things would happen, like with the police and shit like that.
I didn't know that was the highest grossing R-rated comedy until the Hangover.
Yeah,
that's wild.
No,
mind you,
the movie was a monster.
Mind you, before Deadpool, I think before Deadpool, like the Hangover had that record, right? And that was directed by Todd Phillips. And then Todd Phillips, I think, has the record still for the highest grossing R-rated movie, which is The Joker. Like, I know a lot of people shit on him. I know a lot of people shit like on Todd Phillips and like his movies, whatever. But you got to give that man credit to have like the number one comedy and number one like R crime thriller, however you want to categorize Joker. Like that's that. Anyways,
I respect.
So this one is directed by Mark Malloy, who actually is I think this is his feature debut as a director. I remember sure is correct. Yeah, he's an Australian director that's directed a TV show for Quibi and did some commercials for the Super Bowl. So yeah, this is his directorial debut, and he replaced Adele Arbi and Bilal Falal after they decided to leave the project and focus on Batgirl, which notoriously got canned and archived, but it's not even archived anymore. It just got erased from the world by Warner Brothers.
You chose wrong.
But they ended up going with Bad Boys 4.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because what was it, like 20 minutes into this movie where I was like, yo, wouldn't it be crazy if like for the fifth entry in both of these series, they just did a fucking crossover?
So
I think it's very easy to do. I don't think the worlds are too insane to not be able to mesh together.
So when you said that, I thought you already knew this, but obviously not. But apparently they were filming on the same lot.
Yeah, in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, and at Tyler Perry's spot. And apparently they did make Eddie Murphy popped up on the Bad Boys set. And like, there's a whole video of them, like,
yeah. But they didn't film anything for the movie.
No, they did.
Yeah, I remember that movie. Yeah, it's a few years
like,
ago.
That's awesome. That's like just an awesome aside. But then it's just like, yeah, like, what if they actually did that? Like, oh.
I think there's a world where they can make it happen for sure. I definitely think that's possible. Do like a Black Expendables. Like, why not? Like, bring. I mean,
after I just watched Expendables 4. For the rant?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you.
I don't know why you did that to yourself. And folks, you can go to patreon.com/MiniPopcorn and hear Justin's rant from last month on Expendables 4. First of all, Jason Statham, I think he's fine. He does the job and stuff. But his movies lately, like Meg 2, was atrocious. Fair. And so I was not going to. It doesn't Expendables 4 have a shark in it too?
No.
It doesn't have a shark, but it has an insane sequence, right? Like it has an insane, like completely unrealistic thing that happens, right?
I mean, the movie is just
because the reviews are saying it makes Meg 2 look like the most grounded film in the world or some shit.
It's just not a good movie.
Okay,
it's just a really, really bad movie.
Yeah,
Stallone fakes his death in it. It's just so stupid.
Well, I mean, he's probably doing that for tax purposes in real life,
bro. No, like, and he fakes his death. And on top of that, just murders a civilian for no reason. It's crazy.
Okay, well, folks, while that fourth entry was dog shit, apparently, or goes in the stale popcorn pile and everything according to Justin's rating on Patreon. But this movie, directed, like I said, by Mark Malloy and written by Will Beal, Tom Gormakian, and Kevin Etten. Did a pretty solid job. I would say the whole story, and this is the log line, Axel Foley has returned to Beverly Hills after his daughter Jane's life is threatened. She and Axel team up with her ex-boyfriend and his old pals John Taggart and Billy Rosewood to uncover a conspiracy. Now, the daughter's played by Taylor Page. Never talk about who her mom is. Yep. I assume because her last name is Saunders in this movie, and Axel brings it up. He's like, oh, you changed your last name from Foley to Saunders. But he never is like, oh, you changed... you didn't take your mom's maiden name or something like that, because there wasn't a comment about it. I'm still thinking that possibly they were trying to make the mom Teresa Randall's character, Janice Perkins from Beverly Hills 3. Because Taylor Page does look like she could be their daughter.
Yeah.
And casting wise, but I know there's rumors about Teresa Randall and why she doesn't act anymore and why she wasn't in Bad Boys 4. So it's possible like that's the reason why they kind of like cut lines or didn't even mention it.
Yeah.
But his daughter's a lawyer in Beverly Hills, and she's defending this this guy who works for the cartel. He does drug running, and he basically was set up for the murder of an undercover cop.
Yeah. And he's gonna go to jail for life.
Yeah. And they're like, he's a cop killer, blah blah blah. And so she's defending him. So there's a lot of shit like that she gets from like the police. They're like, you're defending a cop killer and stuff. And then when she discovers that there actually might be something to this conspiracy that he was set up, because also Billy Rosewood at this point has become a private investigator because he quit the force because he was uncovering some, corruption and brought up to Taggart. Taggart didn't defend him. And
Taggart's the chief at this point.
and so he quit and became a PI and was still investigating this case. That apparently Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was also, following, but couldn't really get any good leads. So then two things happen in succession, which caused Axel to go back to Beverly Hills. One is that his daughters threaten, like they basically like hang her car over a fucking parking garage, which was wild.
Yeah, it was wild because so basically
to hang at that angle, you're gonna have all the neck problems.
Well, no, you just
but the shock, like I'm sure she tensed up when she was falling back.
Well, yeah,
that would fuck her body's fucked.
So
even though her body looks amazing, and the warbrobe they did her great. She looked great.
Her warbrobe
was fantastic.
So basically, she's in the parking garage, and these guys roll up with like a tow truck. They hook up her car, but like to the, I guess the steel line.
Yeah.
And then they push her car back over it, but they left her hanging there. Now, mind you, her fucking the axle would have snapped off.
Probably, yeah.
So, but that's the thing. It was on the axle, it was on the frame. That's a whole. That's a.
Yeah, it's like don't think too much about it.
Yeah, but but if someone did that to you, holy shit.
Yeah, and so it's like and we find out that the bad guys are connected with the cartel, and that's what's caused this whole conspiracy. Is it a spoiler to reveal who's the bad guy?
Well, no, because once you see that nigga, you know he's the bad guy.
Yeah, well, okay, Kevin Bacon's the bad guy. He's this corrupt police captain.
I mean, it is a spoiler.
But as soon as you see Kevin Bacon smile, you're like, oh, this nigga's it. He's at least one of the bad guys.
Well, they also reveal him.
Wait, within 30 minutes? Yeah.
No. As they reveal him in the movie, like he's talking to Taggart, and then all of a sudden camera cuts from behind him, and Kevin Bacon's just sitting on the couch with his legs crossed. He's just like, hey.
Yeah, if you've seen these movies, you know, like he's the bad guy. Like it's not really a spoiler. I mean, his motivation is interesting. I told you this, Justin, when we were watching it. I'm like, he's probably the best villain in this whole series. One, because he's actually a known actor. Mm-hmm. And two, because I know Jonathan Banks was in the first one as like one of the main bad guys, like henchman and stuff like that. But Kevin Bacon actually has like a character. It's not like the most fleshed out villain, but you understand kind of like his resentment, why he's kind of doing what he does. And he actually is good at threatening people. So it was decent. It was a decent, fun villain role for him. He's in his bag with like these villainous roles lately, the past like 10 years or so.
I also think it's good to get for the series to get away from the rich guy with a lot of power because of his money is doing bad things, and we're gonna stop him. And the LAPD won't go after rich guy because of his money.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that seemed like every single movie before this. The third one was a little bit...
the third one was fucking nuts. Because the main bad guy was this dude who was like head of security at Wonderworld. Like, that was so fucking weird. Yeah. It's like, how are you both high and low stakes at the same time? Like, no one should give a fuck. And then he killed the police chief. And you're like, first of all, why did he even go to Detroit? He didn't need to go for that shit. Anyways.
Yeah. That's a whole nother
story. That's why Beverly Hills Cop 3, like, there's a reason why Netflix only has the first two. And then this one, they're like, hey, don't worry about the third one, baby.
So, all right. There's a part of me, when I first saw it come on screen, Taylor Page, I was just like, oh, no, I don't think this is going to work. I didn't think it was going to work, mainly because she's a very intense actress. And, like, just like, just her persona and like the way she looks, is like there's like a lot of intensity that comes off of her, and like in the movie, I was just like, how is like once her character came, with Eddie Murphy and how they kind of, her being his daughter and all, I was just like, I don't know how this is gonna play, but I was very surprised how like my first gut reaction for it, how I was wrong, because she softened up to a degree, but still kept that kind of tension in a way, especially with their the father-daughter dynamic that I thought really worked. And so I just wanted to call myself out and just be like, you know what? At first, I didn't think it was gonna work, and then I was just like, okay, she surprised me. She did a really good job with this. I was like, I don't know, she may be the weak link in the film, but it was just like that dynamic actually worked for me with Eddie Murphy and her.
Yeah, I'm glad you came around to that, because it would have been a bad look to be like the only female character in this movie is the weak link. She was so fucking bad too in some scenes. I'm like,
yeah, that's what
I'm telling y'all, like the wardrobe and her were like simpatico. Like
what's
she
up
looked,
with your wardrobe?
yo, she looked great. Am I saying wardrobe?
Yes.
Whoa. I got big lips. Also, we didn't even mention that Bronson Pinchot is back as Surge.
Yeah.
Fucking cuckoo bananas character.
Hilarious.
It's one of the craziest characters. He
Aquel.
went from being a former art gallery salesman to weapons dealer to we don't even know what he does now.
Yeah.
He just helped them with like, this fake house hunting moment and stuff. And
With Nassim Pedrad, I love Nassim.
yeah, she
Looks a little weird.
She looked a little weird in this one though. She looked like every kind of like white woman. She's looking more like Jenny Slate.
Yeah.
And less like Nassim. Like, I don't know.
And
Did you think I don't know.
No,
I don't want to talk about it, but I feel like there's maybe
some
some cosmetic stuff that's been done.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, but I feel like that's also just the industry.
Because now, like, that's what I think threw me off at first. I'm like, that's Nassim, right? From SNL. And then I was like, oh, is she trying to be more like Jenny Slate?
It just was
Because it's weird because they both only had like a season, I think, on SNL.
No, Nassim was on for a while.
She was?
Yeah,
okay.
but Nassim,
Jenny Slate was only for on a few episodes. I think she got fired when she dropped the F-bomb.
No, she didn't. She didn't.
She get fired after that
She
episode?
didn't.
Oh, okay.
I think she was only on for like 2 seasons or something like that. Nassim was on for a while. Nassim was actually like the hot thing on SNL.
Yeah.
And she was like in
because I know she got a Fox show and stuff like that. She had a bunch of stuff.
She left because she wanted to do other stuff outside of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I followed my Nassim.
I can tell. But those two, and Taylor Page's character, she gets threatened by the Bad Guys Cartel, and then Billy gets kidnapped by them after he follows a lead because he has this SD card that can kind of exonerate Jane, played by Taylor Page's character, her client, as well as open up show evidence of the conspiracy that Kevin Bacon, like the police, all these people are involved in. Now, my only thing is, when you are a target of the cartel, that don't just stop with how this movie wraps up. I'm not going to get into like who lives and who dies and stuff like that, but I'm like, oh, there's definitely like going to be a fifth one because the cartel's not going to just like take this hit. They're not going to just be like, oh yeah, we're going to let these cops win this one. They're going to be like, who's that black cop? Where's he at? Who's connected to him? You know what I mean? It opens up like a lot of threats. And they talked about how he moved Jane to Beverly Hills because I guess he had an extensive network that's all police officers and stuff. He moved her from Detroit because he said it was too dangerous because the 12th Street Mafia was trying to get him. Or whatever.
He was trying to kill his whole
if
family.
you're worried about the 12th Street Mafia dealing with the fucking Mexican cartel, and they were trying to kill them in broad daylight in the middle of Beverly Hills. That was a great action sequence.
Yeah, it really was.
That was a good one.
That was very like Sicario kind of feel.
Yes, yeah.
It was a very Sicario, kind of hit that they tried to pull. That was a really dope scene. And all right, look at the Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Looked a little weird in this, but I think
he had
that's
that
the
beard.
Thing.
He had that weird ass beard. He's always baby faced, like he's always clean shaven.
True.
And most things, him with the beard was kind of weird.
And the hair.
I mean, the hair was like disheveled. It was just.
It looked like him and Billy went to the same barber.
There was a minute where I thought they were going to make Billy his dad, but then I thought, I don't know if the math would line up because Joseph Gordon-Levitt's, I think he's your age, and that would have made Billy a father like when he was like maybe 20. And there's just nothing about Billy's character. One implied that he ever got laid.
First of all, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is 43 years old.
Oh, so he's older than you. Okay. Sorry, I thought he was like, I knew he was older than me.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
You know,
Like,
just clicking on his Wikipedia and looking at him, I'm just like, yeah, maybe it was the beard that was throwing me off. And like the longer disheveled hair.
It threw me off. I've been following this guy his whole career. Like it was a weird look for him. I don't know why they went with that, unless there's like there's a deeper story about him like kind of falling apart maybe after like, you know, between because they said that Jane kind of like stopped talking to him, even though she still clearly has a thing for him, and him like hitting a wall with this investigation. We also find out he used to be a helicopter pilot for the police force.
Oh boy!
And then he like just went to investigating like small crimes, and Axel Foley like makes a comment about this later on. That comes into play when he's forced to fly a helicopter, and he's like, "The last time I got a helicopter, I crashed. That's why I don't fly anymore." And Axel's just like, "Oh shit."
Okay, on that, just like I think the comedy beats in this were actually really strong.
They were solid. It's like I think for me, what I see like greats like Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, I just want laughs per minute. And I have to remind myself that that's not. It's weird, like because I'm like, if anyone can bring comedy back, it's these guys. You know what I mean? Because comedy's not seen as theatrical anymore, and so I want them to lean more into comedy. But I realize that that's not what the budgets are for, right? It's for action. So I think that Bad Boys for Life, Ride or Die, and this one have done a really good job balancing the action comedy. And I think Eddie Murphy, man, like he's just one of the greats. Like he's probably the best comedic actor. I think he's the best comedic actor, especially when you think of filmography and just like his versatility and his chemistry with everyone he worked with, especially in that run, the 80s. Because at first, I'd initially say Robin Williams, right?
Yeah.
But I would say filmography-wise, Eddie Murphy last per, like, it's just not comparable.
So, I mean, that's a really tough.
It's tough. It's
because,
really
like,
tough. But
obviously, Eddie Murphy's had some stinkers.
yes.
He's had some.
But so did Robin Williams.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we watched one of them, Old Dogs. So, like, it's
That's
really
not to
hard
discount
say.
Robin Williams. Is
No,
like,
no,
like,
of course,
we
of course,
love him. It's
no,
just
but I mean, by saying that, we'd also be discounting Eddie Murphy for Pluto Nash. You know what I'm saying?
But for every Pluto Nash, you get a Shrek, or you get a Coming to him. I mean,
yeah.
You know, the announcement that he was doing a Donkey movie and the Shrek 5, which I already knew about, like from working at like, you know, Universal and stuff like that. I mean, I think that makes sense. It's the dragon donkey kids. That's gonna be fucking really weird.
It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, but I mean, the first Shrek, dude. I don't know when the last time you saw it. It's so fucking funny. Like he's so crazy in that movie.
You know, it's funny. So like Jackson likes series. He doesn't like to watch movies.
Okay.
Well, he doesn't like them at first.
Well, you made him watch some terrible movies when he was coming.
Well, that's true.
You made him watch.
He did watch fucking Dragon Ball Evolution with me, and he noped out. He was just like, "Nah, I'm good." But like, yeah, he's more of a series guy. He's more serial, and like the movies, he's just like, I don't want to watch him. I don't want to watch him. And then he gets involved, and then he's like, loves him. But also, Jackson's very sensitive to the point where like he cries at all of, like the points in the film, like where you're supposed to cry. Like he, like all the
show him the Pixar movies then.
Yeah, like he.
What's the movie that wrecked him the most so far?
Oh my God. We just watched it the other day. I'm trying to think of all these damn movies. Because I try to watch a movie like Friday nights.
Yeah.
With them, pizza and movie type
cute.
deal.
Yeah, pizza night.
Shit, I can't think of the movie, but there was whatever movie it was. Oh no, we watched Dumbo.
The remake or the original?
No, the original.
Oh shit.
Yeah, real not good.
Yeah, that's a dark movie.
Yeah, it's
dude.
a really dark.
You forget those classic Disney movies are really fucking dark.
But like
even like Robin Hood's like got some like you're like ooh. All right.
So like the scene where like they lock the mother away and Dumbo stuff like that. Like I look over at Brandon Fox. I was calling my son Brandon.
Yep, that's that. I'm your co-host, not your son.
So I look over at Jackson and he just has like full on just fucking like bottom lip poked out. Like, I'm just like, everything's going to be okay, Jackson. Everything's going to be okay. But, like, yeah, so, like, he feels hard. You know, he's all the way, I forgot where the fuck I was going with
We were talking about Shrek. And then
yes, Shrek. So, like, I wanted, so every now and then it's like, hey, let's watch this. I try to bring up, like, you know, Shrek. So like movies like that are a little bit more lighthearted and whatnot. And he's just like, nope, we watched it already. I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. He's like, I'm not watching it again.
Yeah,
I
like,
watched
no
it once, you
repeats.
fucks. You got me once.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's a weird kid.
Yep, he's a weird kid. Random call out. There's this actor named Mark Pellegrino who's in this movie as one of Kevin Bacon's henchmen. One of the dudes that's constantly like attacking like either what's her name, Paige, Jane's character or Axel and stuff like that. And he had no lines in this movie, and I was like, this guy looks so familiar. He played this character named Jacob, which was like a very important character on Lost, which is now on Netflix. I was just like, where do I know this nigga from? So, folks, if you're a fan of Lost, Jacob's in this movie, really randomly.
So
is Guzman.
Yeah,
In a
you know
really
what?
crazy scene.
We're gonna let that one just live for itself because that's a wild scene.
There's a few scenes like that we're not gonna spoil. There's another big cameo, which it's not a huge cameo, but we were like, is he playing the character we think he's playing from the 90s?
Yes.
In a potential movie and going to be doing it again in a potential sequel to a really popular comedy from the 90s. That's the most we're going to hint at it. But we were both like, huh.
So I did this film called The Zombinator. And the guy who played the Zombinator is actually in this film.
Oh,
that's
the guy?
Yeah, that's the other henchman that was.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that he played the Zombinator himself.
No,
he's a titular character. Okay.
Yeah, he was very much like an Arnold Schwarzenegger knockoff. Guy's name was Joe Averill. Very super nice guy. Super nice guy. I really had fun with him on set. But I saw him and I was just like, oh shit, it's the Zombinator.
Yeah.
And immediately just started cackling.
Yeah, that's always weird when you see people you know in movies and TV shows now.
Yeah, I know.
Like, there's this new Netflix reality TV show called Owning Manhattan, and I might actually get him on the podcast. This guy named Niall, who's a salesman on the show, and he's the reason why I got my real estate license when I was in grad school.
Oh, really?
Because him and this guy I worked with named Ben, worked with Ben at Bubblegum Shrimp Company. They were starting their own little like real estate boutique, so to speak, or whatever. And they're like, "Hey, we really like you. Like you're a very personable dude." And like that's how I got into marketing, like online marketing. Because I think they just wanted like to build up their team, and I think they wanted some diversity. So they like, "We'll pay for you to get your license and stuff." So I was just getting my license like on the weekends and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when they finally opened it, I was like, they were like, "Oh, we need to advertise online these listings," and so that's what I would do. Oh. And so I think that's why, like, when it comes to listing shows and stuff like that online, like,
everywhere to go.
Yeah, it's not a problem for me because I'm so used to doing this. And they used to call me Post. That was my nickname.
Post?
Because I would just like go crazy. It'd be hard not to know about our properties because I posted everywhere I could.
Okay.
But
yeah. I probably came across some of your shitty properties.
Maybe. Yeah, we had some shitty rentals back in the day. Yeah.
I mean, but everybody did.
Yeah, but
it's funny because an actor tried to get me to do real estate as well, and like I met with the company, but I was just like, I just didn't want to.
I mean, it wasn't. I maybe we could talk about real estate and like the reason why I decided like it wasn't for me and stuff like that. And why he decided like because from the beginning he was like, I'm gonna be like a millionaire. I'm gonna fucking kill this shit, and he's doing it. But I think if I had to pay for my license, I wouldn't have done it.
True.
Like they paid for it, so just like fuck it. Like, and I'm like in grad school already. I'm like, I'm just taking every opportunity. So, but yeah, for sure, if I had to pay for it myself, I would have been like, fuck you.
Well, I also think I started doing the auto show shortly after.
Oh yeah.
Shortly. So I'm just like, well, I got this other thing.
Yeah.
I don't really need to do this. But you know what? Like the moment that like Paul and I started looking for apartments and things like that, I was just like, I should have done the real estate thing because a lot of real estate agents in New York are god awful. Especially New York City, they're atrocious.
Yes.
So, like, if you can be bare minimum, just like, hey, you show up on time, you answer emails, you just like have any sort of business acclimate, you would actually do extremely well because nobody trusts a real estate agent in New York City because a lot of them just don't give a fuck.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why I got out of it. And folks, we will get back to Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley. But the thing is, we don't want to go too deep into the weeds with it because we don't want to spoil everything. It is a fun movie.
I mean, I think that's pretty much
it. Long story short, I just decided I didn't want to do real estate because one, honestly, like I was doing rentals and I was like, I'm getting paid a lot of money just to show people a place. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't even have to know all the fucking stats. I know like some of the neighborhood and stuff like that. Like my first rental, I only had 2. My first rental, the woman already knew which apartment she wanted.
Oh, so
she just didn't want to fuck with because I guess the dude that showed her the apartment initially was such a douchebag. She's like, I just want anyone else to show me this apartment and like help me do the application. Yeah. Like, and so I went, she called specifically about this apartment. I went to show it to her. She's like, yeah, actually, I already know I want this one. So can we just put in the application? I'm like, okay. Okay. Yeah. And then her previous agent tried to like come at me and stuff like that. I'm like, it's not my fault that you're an asshole. Like no one wants to work with you. But I just felt weird. Like it was just like I didn't do anything. It just happened to be luck, you know. But
and that's half of what it is.
I mean, let's be honest. In this movie, luck is the name of the game because a lot of these niggas would be dead based on how many guns were fired in this shit. Now, here's the thing. How are you feeling about gun violence in movies these days? Because I feel like we are so desensitized to it. Like I was just watching a scene from Avengers Endgame the other day. And Infinity, like I was just watching bits from both of those movies. There's so much gunplay in those movies where you're like, oh, this is like crazy violent. It's just that we're so used to guns that we don't consider it violent.
Well, actually, is also just the fact is like if you're thinking about Avengers and such, those bullets ain't hurting the main characters for the most part because they're so
they're superheroes.
Yeah, so it's just like shoot your fucking pea shooters at us.
Whereas in this movie, I'm like, y'all flesh and blood. Like this ain't a game.
You know, there's like moments in the film. It was like they would be dead right there. Like,
there were several moments where we were like, oh, this is fantasy land. Yes, but at the same time, it's an action film. Exactly. Like, you don't expect your heroes to get in too much peril. Like you want to see them get banged around, but it's like you don't want to like spend like the second half of the movie being like, oh, is Axel Foley going to die in this one? Like that'd be a weird tone to hit. Because this is a little bit lighter than like the Bad Boys series and stuff like that. It's not.
That's Bad Boys for life.
Yeah. That was. That was a weird one. I'm like, oh, but this hour, and then the first Will Smith in the hospital after being shot, and then we find out it's his son.
Ass Will Smith, what?
But I did enjoy learning a little bit more about Axel Foley because, like, they have the whole storyline with the daughter, and we were talking like, oh yeah, the previous movies never really they never really went beyond surface level about Axel Foley's personal life.
And he actually, other than the third one, which is again, like you said, the worst one, he didn't have any love interests.
No, not at all. It was just him doing the case.
Yeah, it was all about the case.
And I actually enjoy that.
True.
Because studios are always like, there has to be a love interest and stuff, and it's like, well, sometimes people like are just like all about the mission, right? Yeah. Which is what Paul Reiser talks about with Axel Foley. Is like, you just want to be a cop, like, but there's more than just a job, like, and then sometimes people are obviously gay. So it's like, okay, well then, like, can we have an authentic gay relationship in this? Probably not, because the studios are like, we want to appeal to middle America. Yeah. Not saying everyone in middle America.
Nobody woke. You don't want the woke shit.
But it's just like, it's frustrating, right? And so I'm glad that this is they waited to the third one to insert a love interest. Granted, Teresa Randall had nothing to do. Her character was completely cuckoo bananas. So for this one, just to add the daughter, to add some levity, I think was great. I think it was funny in a weird way that the only female character was actually the most serious. Yeah. Like she's like looking around all these
straight character,
all these fucking idiots. Yeah. She's just like, all right. We did get to see Maureen, Taggart's wife, for the first time ever. We've always heard of her in the first two, but we never actually, even the third one, she's mentioned real quick. He's like, oh, Taggart retired, and he's with Maureen, and blah, blah, blah. Like, Maureen got back with him, because they're always on and off, right?
No, because in the second one, they got divorced.
The second one, she left him.
Yes.
The second one, she left him, but then she came back at the end. Like, there's a quick line. Yeah. And then the third one, when he says that Maureen got back with him, I'm guessing, like, it was on and off again. Mm-hmm. And so to actually see Marine, even though it's a quick, like she's a background, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like I think if you're a fan of the series, there's some good, nice callbacks and payoffs and stuff like that. Even there's like a thing with a Rambo knife where if you remember like the second one, he was a bit like it was revealed Billy is a big Rambo fan and stuff, which is so weird because he had those plants and then Rambo posters.
Yeah.
That guy is fucking nuts. Billy is one of the craziest characters. Like, he should not be a cop. He should not have a gun.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. And this film, his look matches his craziness.
Yes. That actor, Judge Ryan Hold, you recall that he was in the Santa Claus movies.
Yep.
He was in Fast Times at Richmond High. Okay. Yeah.
He's been around for a while.
Yeah,
but like he's always been like a bit character in films.
Yeah, he's an interesting dude. But he's been around a long time. Like you said, he's been working for a while.
He's in the Beethoven franchise.
We've never reviewed any of those fucking movies.
No, those are wild.
I don't think I've even remember the first one. I definitely didn't see the sequels.
I remember Beethoven.
We still got to review some of those Air Bud sequels.
You know what's funny?
And folks, if you want to hear our Air Bud review, you got to go on our Patreon. That's a special episode. Because I never actually digested Air Bud. I'd seen clips as a kid, but as an adult watching Air Bud, you're just like, oh, this is the end of society.
Didn't that one time Air Bud start playing fucking football?
He plays football. He plays soccer.
Does he play baseball?
That's impossible. That's literally impossible.
What do you mean it's impossible?
Like, at least football, like, you can kind of get, like, you just toss the ball to the nigga. He catches it with his mouth.
Hold on. You think a fucking a dog can't catch a baseball in his mouth?
But you have to, like, in baseball, though, you were required to hit the ball. Like, that's how that game.
He could be a DH. No, I'm sorry. No, he could be no.
You have to hit the ball.
No, no.
Every player has to hit the ball, right?
No,
in rotation.
The pitcher doesn't. But that's in like baseball.
The dog can't pitch the ball, Justin. How am I going to do that?
Hey, man, there's a way around
If
it.
a dog can pitch a baseball, we have other questions that we have to resolve. That's insane.
I'm just trying to come up with something.
All right, but this just tells us, Lluvia, our producer, please add the Air Bud movies to the list.
Jesus Christ.
And maybe Beethoven 1. Let's just start with the first one and go from there. And also Beverly Hills Cop 1. Folks, we talked to our producer through the podcast. That's how she knows what movies to add to the list. Mm-hmm. If you have any suggestions for movies to add to the list, leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/mediumpopcorn. The link is also in the show notes. Once again, speakpipe.com/mediumpopcorn. And also, if you want to hear that Air Bud review, patreon.com/mediumpopcorn.
Oh, that's where it's at, baby.
That's where it's at. So, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that this movie does open the door for a potential sequel, another one.
Yeah.
Do we think that's a good idea?
If we're going to do the Bad Boys crossover, yes.
Right? I think that's the only reason to really do it. Bring them together. But I will say, I don't know if you would get a coherent storyline with the three of them together. I just think there would be so much improvisation, and unless you have a director that everyone trusts really, really well. But I mean, those two guys that did the last two Bad Boys movies, they were initially going to do Beverly Hills Cop 4, so maybe Eddie Murphy does like them.
Hold on.
But you got to control that shit.
Hold on. We already had Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence on Life together.
Oh, my God, that's right. I always forget that they're together in that movie.
And in that movie is also fucking Bernie Mac, R.I.P. Fucking
Joaquin Woodbine's in it.
Joaquin Woodbine, Orlando Jones.
Anthony Anderson's in it.
Anthony Anderson. That's a really stacked cast of like black actors from that was like early 2000s or late 90s. Either way,
dude, you get the three of them in a crossover movie, and guess who you make the villains? Denzel and Jamie Foxx. Because Denzel's already going to play a villain in Gladiator 2, bro. Like, you get Denzel in villain mode.
I just don't know about Jamie Foxx in villain.
Okay, I added him as a cherry.
No.
But it'd be funny to see Jamie Foxx as a henchman for Denzel. That'd be so fucking funny.
No. You have it Denzel and Chris Rock.
No, now you lost me. See, now you lost me.
No, I mean, let's say
You gotta do with the people that get along, Justin.
No, but that's the thing. Like, people would come out just to see a movie where Chris Rock is beating the shit out of fucking Will Smith.
That's not gonna happen.
I know.
Yeah.
I know it's not gonna happen anytime soon. But if they were trying to make just make the bag.
See, I try to do
saying.
these fantasy castings to get people excited. Like, oh shit, that could happen. Then you're like, hey, you want to go to alternate universe land?
No, Brandon.
This ain't the MCU, nigga.
No. You're doing the fantasy casting. I'm doing nigga casting.
Yeah, just insane. Also, mind you, there's a slapping scene in this movie too, but I'm not gonna say you get slapped. Yep. Justin, I think we've done justice in kind of talking
without giving away too much.
I know we niggas that spoil movies, but we want y'all to enjoy this. You know, because the trailers don't really give away too much. The action set pieces are pretty solid. I think it maybe is a little bit too long, but Justin, break down our rating system, baby.
First of all, stop calling me baby. But guys, you know how we do this. We rate movies bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any warm, fresh, buttery popcorn, we throw it into the stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on top of it. So, Brandon, we sat down we watched the 2024 Netflix release of the film Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. Now, you already know who the stars. It's Eddie Murphy. But we also got Taylor Page, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah,
we were like talking like Scooby-Doo today. What's going on? Whoa, is Gordon-Levitt. Like, what's going on?
Kevin Bacon, Paul Reiser, Judge Reinhold, John Ashton, and Bronson, Pinchot?
Pinchot?
Yeah, yes. Either way. That's what we got. Brandon, what say you, sir?
Yeah, I'm giving this I'm giving it a large. Surprisingly, I really, really enjoyed this. I do think it's maybe 10, 15 minutes too long. I think if this had been a tight hour and a half, this could have been like, I think it could have been a hit already theatrically, but I think in like a tight hour and a half, this could have been like Bad Boys 4 level at the box office. It's disappointing that stuff like this is going to Netflix because it makes it seem so much smaller than it actually is. Yeah. Because I do think some of the action set pieces, especially when Axel Foley gets in a truck, he's going to be breaking some shit. Yeah. And like that's just good. That'd just be fun to see on a big screen, you know? Yeah. Like, I think the supporting cast is really solid. I think Kevin Bacon was a good addition as the villain. I think having, Billy and Taggart back was a lot of fun. Their chemistry is still there. Just the three of them together at the end was like really funny. And then I think Taylor Page was a good addition. I mean, beyond her being a beautiful actress, I think that she was just a good addition as the daughter. She actually had like stuff to do besides just being a damsel in distress. And the cameos and throwback callbacks were good. I think the action sequences were shot fairly well. And it was actually a fairly coherent movie compared to the third one. I mean, I just saw the third one, so it's fresh in my mind. But I understand the huge gap between the third one and this one because it's like, guys, that was dog shit. That was so bad. But Justin, what's your rating?
I'm actually giving it an XL, man.
Wow.
So,
okay.
And the main reason was I thought this was going to be dog shit, and I was very much surprised by this film. Like, very much surprised. Like, I was looking forward to it, but also I was looking forward to it because I look forward to an Eddie Murphy project. But at the same time, I was kind of just like, I don't know how this thing is going to go. You know what I'm saying? I was very wary of what was going to come out. Yeah. And I felt like they really gave us a really solid movie. And like Taylor Page, the way she played the daughter, and the fact that they didn't write her as, it's just a little Axel Foley. You know what I'm saying? I thought that it was a very smart writing of that character, and it really gave her her own thing without leaning too much on the Eddie Murphy's daughter, Axel Foley's daughter thing, as like a piece of her personality. And then we got to catch up with, our old favorite characters from the series. And like, it felt like everybody really got paid off in this. If they decided not to do any more, I think that this is a great way to just be like, this is it. We're not going to do anymore. But if they gave us another one, I'm here for it because I felt like this gave me everything I wanted to see in a movie that's what was it 30 years after
just about,
Beverly Hills Cop 3 came out?
Yeah.
No, it was literally 30 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because that was 94. So like I felt like this is like like much like Good Burger. This is like a really good, far out Good Burger 2, mind you. A far out like sequel of a film that actually worked, like this, as well as fucking Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, Top Gun.
Bad Boys 3.
Bad Boys 3.
Like taking a long gap because it doesn't always work out.
Yeah,
it doesn't always work out.
But that's
It's
the thing.
definitely
Like Bad Boys for Life. People weren't really fucking with. Some people say that they hated that movie.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that because
Yeah,
the people that like were like, oh, I hated the third one, but I loved the fourth one. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I thought the third one was actually a pretty fun movie. I enjoyed it, and then like it also gave something different because like I mean Will Smith actually getting fucked up like that, like that I didn't expect that. I think I actually had a wow moment in this, but like again back to this, I felt like this gave us everything that you wanted and a little bit more, and like I think it's a great resurgence for this franchise.
I do too. I just hope that, there's great care taken into if they do another one and like really having a reason why, versus just saying like, hey, that one was a hit, let's do another one. Because, I personally try to pretend like it doesn't exist, but Coming to America 2 is offensive on so many fronts. Yeah. Right. And so I just personally pretend like that movie doesn't exist. Same way I do with Anchorman 2. I pretend like that movie doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. Right. Because if I didn't have such an affinity for the first ones in those series, I maybe wouldn't watch them. That's why I didn't watch Zoolander 2. I was like, after Anchorman 2, I was like, I'm not even going to try with Zoolander 2.
Yeah.
And I heard terrible things about that one, too.
It's really bad.
And I heard terrible things about Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yeah. Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Really
I'm just like, why am I going to do this to myself? If I'm already hearing the buzz is not good, I'm not going to tarnish my enjoyment of the first one. That's why Happy Gilmore 2, Sweet Lord, Please Be Funny, like, somewhat decent. Not that Happy Gilmore was like incredible. Like it's like honestly, it's one of my least favorite Adam Sandler movies at that time.
I enjoyed that movie. How dare you?
A lot of people love it. I just can't get enough Billy Madison. Fair. But that's because that's it. Like I think that was like him at his weirdest.
Yeah, I mean,
Billy Madison was
the
like,
man-child thing kind of works.
Yeah, but the Billy Madison, like, there's some weird, like with the teacher just with the glue stick on her eyes.
Yes,
there's just some wild shit in that movie.
Yeah,
Happy Gilmore is a little bit more grounded, even though it's insane. It's still a little bit. It's a Ben Stiller, the orderly. He's fucking with the old people.
Oh,
he's got that fucking mustache. Man, nothing's funnier than crazy Ben Stiller, evil, maniacal Ben Stiller. Like,
yeah, because
he's played some crazy evil roles, like Dodgeball.
And Ben Stiller has this gaze that he gives that like, hey, I'm completely dead behind my eyes. Yep. He does it very well.
Yes, he does. Did you ever see, this is really random before we give our, plugs and stuff like that. Did you ever see, it was MTV, I think movie awards in the 90s when Ben Stiller did the Tom Cruise, he was a stud double for Tom Cruise.
Yes.
That's one of the craziest. That's one of the funniest things.
Yo.
But that's a lot of people are like, oh, how do you get Tom Cruise for Tropic Thunder? I'm like, they've been friends for tens of, because when he was talking about the stunts with John Woo, and John Woo was just like, can you just go away? Like, it's been like, oh, you should do like a motorcycle go in the air, then you turn to the camera and like, oh, this mission just got more impossible. It's so stupid. But so funny. Also, I remember as a kid being like, this is fucking crazy.
You know what's crazy though? Is that I feel like people kind of forgot about Ben Stiller.
Well, I think that's his own personal choice. I think he stepped, he's more of a director and writer now. He fully embraced that. I don't think he cares to be in front of the camera anymore.
I know, but it's just people, because people.
He also got caught up recently in that whole nepo baby thing. think he pissed off some people. So I think he's very much like, I'm just going to do my creative work. He's doing that Severance show. But I'm also like, yes, he is a Nepo baby. But you cannot deny that he did the fucking work.
Oh, no,
he might have had the
good.
nepotism to get him in the door. But to be honest, I remember Jerry Stiller popping like that much in the 90s for him to be able to get SNL and all this stuff. Maybe that got him an audition. But he had to prove himself, like, and he's a funny motherfucker.
Well,
like he's made some crazy shit.
To tell you the truth, I mean, Jerry Stiller kind of came up on his son's name.
And Seinfeld.
Huh?
And Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Seinfeld is what really.
Yeah, but
as George's dad, like that's what.
Yeah, he was nuts. He was fucking nuts. But at that point, Ben Stiller was already on the scene.
Yeah.
But then, like. Yeah, I don't know.
There's some people that definitely you're like, this is offensive. You are definitely a Nepo baby. You're not even trying to do the work. Or if this is the best work you got, then you need to find something else to do. Yeah. But there are some people where I'm like, I mean, but they're doing the damn thing. They made a name for themselves.
So like what Jason Sudeikis was like, oh yeah, like he was his like uncle, something like that. Is like the executive at NBC.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was like,
okay.
But, do you see Jason Sudeikis though?
That's interesting because I like.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that, and I also wasn't a fan of Jason Sudeikis on SNL. It's funny, like there's certain people like on SNL, like especially like that class, like it was like him, Will Forte, Will Ferrell, and them, like where I'm like, even Amy Poehler, where I'm like, I think they would do stuff outside of SNL. Like Amy Poehler did Parks and Rec, Will Ferrell did Old School and stuff. And I'm like, oh, and Jason Sudeikis obviously Ted Lasso. I'm like, oh, these guys are great.
Yeah.
Like I think for me, there's just people on SNL that don't gel. But ironically, the people that I like on SNL don't really translate to anything outside of SNL.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But that's another episode for maybe we'll get Darren Patterson on from SNL Nerds to come on and talk about it. Shout out to Darren Patterson. Justin, please tell the people how they can follow you as well as support the show financially.
Guys, you can follow me at J Brown. Don't stop it, you son of a bitch. Baby. Stop calling me baby. Guys, you know you can follow me at J Brown Did It on all of the socials. But you can support this podcast, show us a little love with patreon.com/medium popcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, and $15 packages. Our entire backlog goes onto Patreon, and we have so much extra content on there. We got bonus shows. We got bonus episodes. We got the rant, what I'm watching, Tati's take. There's so much content on Patreon. It's where you really need to be if you love this show. You want to see it get even better. So again, that is patreon.com/medium popcorn.
That's right, folks. And you know you can follow Medium Popcorn at Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms. You can follow me at Frodo_Blackens on Instagram and Threads. Come out to my one-man show, Air Seinfeld, on Friday, August 23rd at Soho Playhouse in New York City. You get tickets at FrodoBlackens.com. And like Justin said, patreon.com/Medium Popcorn. That helps support the show. But if money is tight, just leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast application. We will read it on the show.
Tell us you love us.
Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Tell us all the good things. Oh, you can also leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/medium popcorn. All right, y'all. Well, we hope y'all enjoyed this review of Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley, and that you enjoyed the movie itself. Because we sure as hell did.
Indeed, we did. Watch this shit, y'all.
That's right. It. Until then, folks, we will talk to y'all later.
Medium popcorn, we are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn, woo! You haven't seen it, well we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if